All right, so we've learned about images, forms, a bunch of other basic elements in HTML. What we're going to be learning about now is the HTML video. And so in the past, let's go back to like the 90s, for instance. In order to play videos on a web page, you needed to use Flash. So you'd need to convert your video to an FLV file and then build a Flash video player and then plug it in to the website. And Flash is dead. And if it's not quite yet, it should be very soon. So what HTML5 introduced was a native HTML5 video element that you could load up a video in, and it's cross browser. So what that means is that you could be using Chrome, Firefox, Safari, whatever browser you're using to view a web page, a modern browser that supports HTML5, and you'd be able to use the video element on that page. So, for example, if you're using Chrome and your Chrome version is above 4, then you're going to be fine watching native HTML5 videos. Same for Firefox in version 3.5, Internet Explorer in 9, and so on. So what we're going to do in this video is just embed a video into our page. So let me bring up our actual page right here. Go back. All right. So right at the top of this page, actually, I'll delete everything. So let's delete that. I'm going to go ahead and add a section here, and see, I'm trying to close a div tag that doesn't exist. That would have not went over very well because the section would have continued to wrap around everything because it didn't see a closing tag, so it would have thought everything was supposed to be inside of it. And then the div, I mean, it would just fail. So what we're going to do is I have a video in my projects directory. So this is my project directory right here, and in here I have a videos directory. And I actually have the intro video that I recorded for this course in an MP4 format. Now it's important to note that WebKit and Blink support MP4. And I believe it's Firefox or the Gecko engine that supports OGG format. So chances are if you're going to be embedding videos into a web page and you want true cross-platform or cross-browser support, you're going to need to convert it into a few different formats. For the sake of this video, we're just going to be using my MP4 video. So let's go ahead and create a video element. So we open it and close it. Now in the video element, we're going to add a few parameters. And the first one is going to be width. And we're going to say this should be 540 pixels wide. And height, and the height should be 320, and I'm not sure what aspect ratio this is, but I think it's like 16 by 9 or more than that. I'm not really sure. And then the other parameter we're going to add actually doesn't have a value, and that's why I said most of the time format is value equal, or name equals value, or parameter property or attribute, whatever you want to call this, attribute equals, and then the value of that attribute. For this one, in the HTML5 video element, we use a parameter or attribute called controls, and it actually has no value. It just exists to tell this element that we do want to use controls. And that's the overlay on the video, the play button, the seek bar, etc. So inside this video element, we're going to add a source element. And much like an image tag, it takes an src attribute, and this is going to be the file path of your video. So in this instance, it's in the current directory, in the videos directory, and it's named intro.mp4. All right, and you need to also add a type attribute. I think my keyboard's like slightly tilted or something, rotated a little oddly, so I'm not able to type as efficiently as normal. So the type for a video is always going to start with the video slash, and then you're going to put in the type of video that it is. So in this case, it's MP4. And this has no closing tag. That's kind of odd. So let's go ahead and save this, and let's refresh our page, and we now see a native video player that we can actually play and use in this way. So that's how to do native video, and this is obviously a much better implementation than trying to use Flash, because Flash is the support for Flash in web browsers is actually being defaulted to not supported. So Chrome, I believe they've already removed support for Flash, and other browsers are doing the same thing. But aside from that, the setup of a Flash video player is a lot more convoluted. This is quite simple. You just put a video element and then a source element within it. And actually, you're going to be putting multiple source elements. So let's go ahead and create another one. And this would be, let's say I had the same version of the video, but it was in OGG format, and this would support Firefox. For instance, this is the video that would play on Firefox. This is how I would do that. So you'd add the source, the src attribute, and you'd set the value to the OGG video, and then you would set the type to video/OGG. And then something else you can do, which is pretty neat, is if your browser doesn't support the video player, you can actually add a message within the video element, and this will be printed out if the video cannot load. So let's say your browser does not support HTML5. Now, if I save this and refresh, we're not going to see that message because it has already loaded this. Now, what happens, it's kind of, it loads in a procedural manner. So it attempts to load the first element. If it can't load that, it tries to load the next one. And if it can't load that, it continues on until it can load something. Now, where this is just plain text, every browser can load this. So that is the HTML5 video player, and along the same lines is the audio player, and we'll get to that in the next video.